At 6 p.m., this is a special meeting for Tuesday, July 26, 2022, to certify the July 12th special election. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
I will. Tim Hale, are you on the phone?
Here.
Thank you. Stephanie Nowers will not be present. I'm expecting Dee McKee and Robert Yent to call in. Moki too.
Here.
Jesse Sumner.
Here.
Ron Bernier.
Here.
You do have a quorum, Madam Mayor.
Okay. Are there any changes to the agenda? Okay, hearing none, the agenda is approved as presented. Will you all stand, please? And Deputy Mayor, will you lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Robert Yunt is here.
All right, great, thank you. We've now reached the time for audience participation. Anyone in the audience is welcome to address the assembly on any topic, whether it's on the agenda or not. And we do, Bill, you're signed up. Come on up, please. You'll need to, I guess Lonnie's going to turn the mic on for you.
All right, thanks, Edna. What I'd like to speak to today is a subject about timely response. Some of you may be aware that the city of Wasilla and the mayor has put a person in charge of determining how long it takes to get a response from a member of their community to a question that they may have. And so I'm going to speak to that. And I spoke to you before because I had a subdivision I was doing with 13 lots south of Borough Road. And they said that I had to require 2 accesses for 13 lots. So I put it off for 5 years. That's cost me about $200,000 in additional costs. But I had another project that I called the borough about and talked to them, and starting in May, and right at the end of May, and finally got to talk to someone, and then they put me to someone else, and just to make a long story short, just recently, not long ago, I'd gone up the chain, and now I'm going down the chain. I had a fellow by the name of Mike Camfield, and he was very helpful in trying to answer my problem or my suggestion for a project that I wanted to do. And I had 3 people at least say, I think the borough would be interested in what you want to do. But it's taken till now to get something going. And then Mike told me, he said, there's one portion of this that you're going to have to take to the assembly. And I don't think that you'll get this done this year. It'll be next year. So it's what has developed recently has made the project not viable at all. But if we'd had a little bit more timely response to what I was proposing, and also if, instead of me presenting it to you folks, I don't think Edna knows who I am. I don't know whether any of the other people here know I've been here for a long time, over 50 years. But it would help if the people that at the borough that said this is not a bad project, I think you should go forward with it, had come in and said, we'll help you go. I'm up, huh? I'll help you take this to the assembly and see if we can make this thing work. Well, it's dead in the water, and I'm not going to take it to the assembly But my point is, it's a real revelation what Wausau is doing to put something forward to see if they can make a timely response for people asking questions. Now, if it's any consolation, I've been in contact. I've known some of the big movers in the valley, some of the big developers for a long time. They say that Burl is slightly better than Anchorage, but Anchorage is probably slightly better than Detroit, and all of them are better than California, I'm sure. But the bigger you are, it seems the more time it takes to get things done. And these things have cost me money. I mean, I did a survey and plan for this. I had a bid from a contractor for $24,000 and could not get anybody to move on it. So I won't tell you what the project is. That takes longer, and I'm sorry, I'm run over. But I would suggest maybe trying to move in the direction of Wausau. And I like Palmer better than Wausau, but I do like this. So anyway, I appreciate your time, and maybe somebody else will have an easier time. I'm over 80, so I don't have the time for this stuff. Catch you later. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. The next audience participation, Richard?
Hi, all.
Good
Assembly
evening.
members. Richard, I'm Richard Stoffel from Palmer here, and I want to talk about my vote. And I'm very concerned about whether my vote counts or not. I see it going into this machine. What happens to it when it gets in there really can't be verified, and there is tremendous testimony about it being corrupted. And so it's so important for our votes to count. I mean, it's so basic to the foundations of our country, for our constitutional God-given rights, that our vote would count. And so I just implore you to really consider the information that you have about the voting machines and what you've seen and what you know. And I do focus on the machine because it's the least, if there's any, I don't know, I don't think there's any way to really make it accountable in the long run. I just can't see it in the facts from IT people or anything, and what's happened and what can happen. So I just implore you, and I see you have on the agenda to certify this election. And if I could not certify election if I had the power to do it, if there was a machine involved.
Thank you, Richard. Anyone else in the audience that would like to address the counts or the assembly on any matter? Caleb, do we have anybody online? We do not have anybody online. Okay, so I'll close audience participation. And Madam Clerk, we are ready for the canvas board report.
Madam Mayor and Assembly, first I would like to introduce you all to my staff. I'm sure you know some of them, but not all in the same room at one time. But we've got Sonia, we've got Joelle, we've got Pam, Deb, and Jordan, and of course Brenda, and they do put in a lot of hours, no matter which election it is, whether it's special or the regular election. Next, I want to introduce you to 3 of the 5 canvas board members. We've got Teresa Thompson, she's the chair. We got Audra Godin, I hope it's not pronounced Godin. Oh, yay. And then we got Cassandra Graham. Angela Long and Joanne Burbrick weren't able to come due to scheduling conflicts. But I would like to invite Teresa up to go ahead and give the canvas board report.
Madam Mayor and the Assembly, we, the Canvas Board, report these findings. Closer?
You might want to pull it this way.
Better?
The whole thing is sitting on.
Oh,
You talk a little like slower.
Okay,
Not slower, but
tell me if you can't hear me.
slower is the wrong word.
Net? Okay, so we, the Canvas Board, report these findings. With all 41 precincts reporting, there were a total of 6,271 poll voters. We are happy to report that every ballot was accounted for and canvassed. There were 959 actual early voters this year. We canvassed 557 question ballots. 538 were counted and 19 we found not countable. The majority of these were from voters not being registered within the Mat-Su borough. They were either first-time voters or registered to vote, maybe in Anchorage or another area of the state. There were a total of 1,383 absentee ballots processed. 24 of those did not count, bringing the total of 1,359 absentee ballots counted. We had a total of 20 hand counts. One from a precinct, 1175, had an issue with it during the election day. 2 from the DOE AVO and 3 from the Mat-Su borough AVO. There are a number of reasons the tabulator could not tabulate and rejects the ballots from, these range from the voters using check marks and not enough of the oval being filled out. One voter filled out the perfect oval on 3 of the questions, but on one of them made a perfect oval just outside the proper spot to be filled in the oval. Like maybe they moved their page, I don't know. We found 2 people received ballots. They received double ballots. When it got tore off the tab, they got it stuck together at 2 different places. So they were hand counted because they were issued and they voted the top on one and the bottom on the other. So you couldn't send those through the machine either. While 10.5% is a very poor voter turnout, I'd like to suggest that the recent influx in PFD applications for the fuel rebates influenced an abundance of the voter registration, new voters registrations. Unless there's more voter awareness and interest in local government, these low percentages may become the new normal. We need to educate the public for a better turnout, as well as for faith in the process. We all have heard, knowledge is power. I heard a new phrase shared by one of the canvassing officials, trust but verify. That made me think of the entire canvassing process. With every step of the process, we work together as a team. We check and we cross-check everything, including each other. Let me walk you through the process of just simply the question ballot so you can better understand and learn. I start out by reading the name. This allows us to all be on the same person, whether they provided an identifier, which is a must field. I read the birthday. I read the birthday off the affidavit. This is being checked by 2 others on computers. Then I state that the oath is signed. If all these things work out, we continue. Only when I'm done sharing these do we move forward. If somebody misses a step, doesn't hear me say something, we go through it. Cassandra, who was working on the 30-day voter registration cutoff database, reads out loud the voter number. 3 of us are verifying, 2 off of the computers, and I'm writing or verifying on the tab on the ballot affidavit. She reads their address, which states whether which ballot they were eligible for at that 30-day cutoff. If there is a change, we address whether the ballot issued is valid or not per codes. Then Angela, who had the task of noting all changes on her spreadsheet, shares whether the voter voted early or not. Audra who was working on the state's database, we refer to it as VREMS, is checking every step out of our process to verify all information shared is valid. When there are differences, she speaks to them and we investigate. Joanne was tasked with checking the precinct registers to look for possible double voters. Only after she announces no signature does that ballot get marked full count or something other. This entire process scrutinizes the validity of each voter. It is very thorough. We can attest to that. I testify that this process is and has been done to the best of our ability. I hope that giving you this tiny bit of information will help you gain some insight so that you can have the knowledge you need to have faith in the process. All ballot accountability reports were justified, and every ballot was accounted for. This is outstanding. Many of you remember that when we shared the election with the state in 2020, many ballot accountability reports were off due to voters placing the borough ballot in the trash, leaving the building with them, setting them beside the tabulator. Some even ended up inside the state's ballots envelopes. All of this was done rather than casting the actual ballot. A couple interesting findings that we came across while canvassing this election are, on election day, a voter came in to a precinct and handed in his state ballot, an outdated state ballot. Wanted it to count. We had 2 precincts that had their ballots out of numerical order. This makes for a challenge justifying at the end of a very long day. Fear not, we counted for each and every ballot. I am grateful for such a wise and learned team. They rock. We even had a double voter. There wasn't really anything else I can report that was outstanding or different. We accounted for all of it. It justified and works. But before we ask you to close the election, are there any questions from you I can try and help you with?
Any questions from the assembly? I don't, assembly person Hale have? Oh, okay. I don't think we do. Thank you.
Okay,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jesse?
Oh, Deputy Mayor?
So through the mayor, you mentioned one double voter. How exactly did that happen? Is it an absentee and then they voted at the poll, or was it early and then sorry?
They were issued, was it by mail? I don't remember now.
Sorry, I didn't write that down either. I do believe they had a by mail and then they voted absentee in person or they voted question. So that's all cross-checked.
I think it was by mail, if my memory, do you remember? Yes.
And so if they vote in person, so then the absentee is then rejected?
Both of them are.
Oh, okay.
Both of
Well,
them are.
not if they voted on election day in person though, because you can't reject it once it's.
Correct. But we do have safe fails for that too. If somebody votes absentee in person or early, they have a sticker or something over their name in the register. So it shows that they already voted.
Right.
Further questions?
Okay.
Okay.
If not, then we, the Canvas Board, find these statements to be true and accurate, and we respectfully submit that you accept this report and close the election. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor?
I move to certify the July 12th, 2022 special election results.
Okay. Caleb, how many people do we have on the phone? 2.
Hi, Dean Key here is here by phone.
Assembly Person D. McKee, how many
I'm here.
phones do you have? on?
Just one?
Oh, okay, because we can hear some background noise, so, okay.
Oh, okay,
Um,
well, I'll work in the background noise, which would be my girl.
Okay, and
Okay.
can you tell me what time you did call in? Because we don't have you
Yes,
as being
6:11.
here.
6:11. Yeah.
6:11. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And for the record, Assemblyperson Yount had called in, I think it was 6:01, but he physically showed up at 6:10. Okay, so is there discussion on the acceptance of the Canvas Board report by the motion by the Deputy Mayor? Is there any objections to accepting the Canvas Board report? Okay. Hearing none, then the special election has been certified. The next item on our agenda is the Assembly, Mayor, and staff comments. Mr. Attorney, do you have any comments? Okay. Assemblyperson 2? No? No? Mike? Clerk?
Just real quickly, the Kenai Peninsula Borough shared, they did have a company come in and audit because they do use Dominion voting systems also. I did hand that out to you. It's just another thing we could do should the assembly want to do that. It's a pretty short report, just so you know.
Okay, thank you. Assemblyperson Yount, comments?
No.
Okay. Deputy Mayor, comments?
No comment.
Comments from Assemblyperson Hale on the phone?
No comment, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Hope you're feeling better, sir. Assemblyperson McKee, comments?
Nope, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any comments either, so we will adjourn the meeting at 6:23.